Hey guys, my name is Ankur Gupta, which is two letters different from Ankit Gupta, who hosts this event, so don't get confused. I've been coming to these events for maybe a few months, and I think they're pretty awesome. Thank you for having us. I'm an eye surgeon by training, and really excited about the problem we're solving. We initially got into this because my grandfather, who's also an eye surgeon, and I sort of noticed that it was really hard to deliver access to eye care to people in rural India. And so he and I initially came up with this big sort of eye camera that you'd sort of put in like a little wagon and take it out to the rural villages, and that sort of thing in an eye doctor's office costs about 20 to 100 grand. It's pretty expensive. And then as mobile phones got smaller and the cameras got better and cell coverage in some of these countries got better, we got really excited about the ability to put a smartphone behind a set of optics, which is what we did here. It's an iPhone 5 and a patented FDA-cleared medical device that we manufacture ourselves now. And we got really excited because we can take really high-resolution images of the back of your eye, or the retina. And as an eye doctor, that's what I primarily want to look at. And the problem for getting access to eye care is that most people either physically can't get there, or in the use case in the United States, there's a lot of people who need to see eye doctors who just don't think to, or are unable to get there, or are maybe too lazy to get there. The big sort of low-hanging fruit for us, or the big target population, is actually people with diabetes, which is a lot of people in this country and worldwide. And so those people typically go to a primary care doctor, and then at the behest of the primary care doctor still do not comply. They're asked to go get an annual eye exam, and they never make it to our office. There's a lot of there's an activation energy there, and there's some education that can be done there, but suffice it to say, they're not going to actually come to see us to diagnose any eye issues, and this disease of diabetes will eventually blind them for the most part. It's something that when they're seeing 20/20, getting their normal physical exam and getting their heart listened to and their lungs listened to, don't appreciate that they may go blind because they have diabetes. So what we wanted to do is then make this camera something that could capture their retinal image at the point of primary care, which is super exciting because this thing is really cheap, it's really accessible. It will automatically take a very high resolution image of their eye, something that a nurse can do without any training. And then what we do is we actually work with my co-founder, who both of whom are at Stanford, who have developed an AI algorithm to look at retinal images. And you guys may have heard, if you're sort of health tech geeks, last week was somewhat groundbreaking in that it was the first ever approval for any clinically autonomous system, specifically looking for diabetes in the retina. And that's exactly, incidentally, what we do, and just made our regulatory path really straightforward and ideally, or I think, a lot easier than it previously was, which would have been like $1 million clinical trial. So we're really excited about the ability for our AI algorithm, which is actually 2 orders of magnitude more accurate than what was just approved last week, plus, and that's proprietary, that we own that, plus the hardware which we now own, to sort of really democratize access to eye care. And that's really, so we've had a little while to think about this. We went through Y Combinator, we raised some money, things are exciting, we're building a team. But what I think I'm most excited about is what we can do in the future. And so we can initially look for diabetes, and that's amazing. But when you're taking a picture of the retina, you're actually taking a picture of your brain. And in your brain, you can see neurons or photoreceptors and blood vessels. And you can predict a lot of things about your whole body disease, not just your eye disease, when you have that image. And so you guys also, if you're health tech geeks, might have seen last month, Google can now, or Verily specifically, can predict whether or not you're going to have a heart attack in the next 5 years just using a 2-dimensional image of your retina, which incidentally we can capture on a really cheap device, whether it's in your own home or in a primary care doctor's office or wherever. And they were using a $100,000 device. So we're kind of excited about our ability to sort of also create this prognostic information, whether the end user or customer is the individual at home who's got a Fitbit plus a scale plus a eye camera widget or whatever. There's a lot of different ways we can bring something like this to, to just provide value. So I guess I'll sort of finalize or finish by saying that I'm really excited about obviously what we're building and need help desperately on the software side. We're pretty good at hardware. One of my early employees is here with me, who's a PhD coming out of Stanford in optics, and we're building really cool hardware, both that requires dilation and does not require dilation. It can do 3D imaging and 2D imaging, lots of cool stuff on the hardware side. What we are lacking right now is software engineers who can help us architect both front end, the server side stuff. We're going to create a database of these images, and then also just a simple iOS app, some of the stuff that we need to create some early MVPs to service some of our customers that are in India, and some of them are eye doctors in the US. There's a lot of people that want access to this, and building out the software team to get that in their hands is what we're currently focused on. So thank you.